guys, Tim here from Network Nerve, and welcome to my PHP tutorial. This is the beginner series, and in this video I will be talking about data types and essentially what they are and some of their practical uses for these data types. So let's get started. As you can see here, I have a blank HTML document, and inside the body tag I have some PHP tags, which you guys should know by now. That's where all the magic happens. So let's get started. What's a good first one? I guess integers. An integer is a whole number, so like 10, maybe 15, etc. And I'm pretty sure we all have our uses for integers, and they're pretty self-explanatory. Then after that we have floats, and a float, I want to say, is a integer with, it's not really an integer because an integer is a whole number, but it's like 15.5. So it has it's not an entire whole number, and it, oh, forgot the equal sign. Can't forget the equal signs. But essentially, it, yeah, this is pretty good for, like, shopping carts. And, let's say you're going to finalize everything and buy stuff. You know, your whole total could be like $45.35. Something like that. There's more uses for them, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. So let's go with another one, a string, which can pretty much have integers and floats inside of them, but you can either have a single quote or a double quote. I prefer double most of the time, and the only reason for that is that I can put integer and float inside of it, as opposed to just putting the single ones. As you can see, it doesn't bold. There's no bold letters on the variable. That is because you cannot do that. You have to do concatenating strings, which is a whole different story. But for now, for the string, we'll just put in string. We will echo all these out to have a representation of what they do. Next we have booleans, which is a binary variable, and it can only have true or false. So in this case, we'll just put true. So you could just say, you know, if boolean is equal to true, then do something. I'm pretty sure we've covered if statements. Jay covered that, even though I won't go into any more details other than that. Next we have arrays, which are variables that hold multiple information. So let's give an example of one. I'll be covering that actually in my next video, so stay tuned for that. We'll say array, and for now we'll just put Tim. Tim. There we go. Alright. And I'll be covering that. That's a different topic that we will cover. Next we have null. And null is basically nothing. There's nothing there. So if you're uncertain about what you want to set your variable to, you can just set it to null, and then there's a actual built-in function called isNull. So you can check to see if, see right here, finds whether a variable is null. Basically nothing, it's empty. Another one is objects, which is kind of like a variable that has its own information inside of it and how to process it. It's a little advanced for right now, we're in the beginner side. So, you know, you could just do object and then something else, but we won't go into that. So let's go ahead and kind of print these out. So we'll say, okay, this sounds like this is just, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So I just wanted to set this up for you guys. Essentially it's going to show us what all this does. I'm going to go ahead and comment out object because this is something that we don't really want to touch right now. It's a little too advanced for the current video. So as you can see here, we have integer, floating point, string, boolean, and null. So we've discussed variables before and what they will do. So, oh, I actually forgot one. I forgot array. So let me go ahead and do that. Say array, and let's go ahead now and print this. And array to string conversion, we haven't exactly covered arrays, so for now I will just do this. Don't get scared, please don't get scared. I'm just gonna do this to make our lives a little easier. Alright, there we go. I'm getting oh, oopsie, sorry about that. Okay, So let me go ahead and explain this to you guys to the best of my ability. So here we have an integer, which is 15. Then we have a floating point, which is 45.35. The point, of course, being the decimal. Then we have an array, and inside that array, you can see that we have an array element known as Tim. I will be discussing arrays in the next video, so don't worry about that. So that's why we have Tim, and the 0 is addressing the element inside the array. Next we have Boolean, which we set to true. Now, when you print out a Boolean, if it's false, it's 0, and if it's true, it's 1. So there's just 0 and 1, and that is it. Then we have null. We kind of printed out null, but like I said before, null is an empty, it's just empty. It's nothing there. So that's pretty much the gist of this video. Hopefully you guys understood where I was coming from, and yeah. So until the next video, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.